If you consume video essay content on the regular, then you've probably seen one or two of your favorite video essayists make a video titled One Villainous Scene. If by chance you actually do have a life and you're not perpetually online, One Villainous Scene is essentially a video essay challenge issued by a YouTuber named Nando V Movies, in where he challenges YouTubers to talk about what they consider to be an iconic scene involving their favorite villain. And as the best anime video essayist around that totally doesn't copy the bigger anime-tubers before him, I decided I want in on this action. On a challenge that was issued 1 whole year ago. I'm not gonna lie boys, I haven't really been talking about the most recent of animes. Get ready for my Chainsaw Man video in like 2030. But when you're talking about an iconic villain scene in all of anime, honestly there's a lot to choose from. Even some generic isekai trash can have some top tier villains. And these characters can come in a wide array of flavors. On one end, you got characters like the Anti-Spiral from Gurren Lagann, which is not even a person and more of a concept. And on the other end, you have characters like Griffith from Berserk, which is pure f***ing sadism. My point is, this was not an easy choice to make. There's just way too many characters and too little time, sadly. But if I really did have to make a pick, the one villain I'd say which had one of the most iconic scenes for me, and that genuinely made me rethink a few things, would have to be Shogo Makishima from Psycho-Pass. But before that, a word from our sponsors. This video is brought to you by Raid Shadow. It's brought to you by me. Go watch my other videos. I worked really hard on them and I'd love to see you guys there. Anyway, that's it really. Also, spoilers for Psycho-Pass. Now, if you've never seen Psycho-Pass, which I feel very sad for you, the story is set in Japan in the late future, in where the government manages to create an algorithm that calculates someone's crime coefficient, which is a number that shows the likeliness of a person to commit a crime. Essentially, the higher the number the algorithm detects, the more likely you're gonna go to jail, even when you actually haven't done any crimes. If you've seen animes like Ergo Proxy, or even movies like Blade Runner, you definitely know what kind of themes and questions that the show is trying to ask. Basically, is it ethical to arrest and prosecute someone based on a chance that they might commit a crime later down the road? Since I don't want to spoil too much, you might be wondering, how the heck does the main villain fit in all of this? The best way I can put it, Shogo Makishima is essentially the Joker.
I'm the Joker, baby!
I know saying anything or any person is like the Joker is super cringe, especially on the internet. We live in a society, and that society says the Joker is cringe. But the great thing about Makishima is that he's more of a Heath Ledger anarchist Joker than anything else. Even when he's committing literal murder, he genuinely believes that he's right to do so, and that his path is still righteous. He's a sociopath, but a sociopath with convictions. And you can really see this in episode 11 of the anime. So to set the scene, the main character Akane finally gets to meet Makishima in person after 10 whole episodes of being outsmarted by him. Think of Sherlock Holmes finally getting to meet Moriarty. And when they do finally meet face to face, Makishima has some of the best dialogue I've ever heard in anime.
Reading a bioorganism's force field using a somatic scan, some very smart people have found a way to analyze a person's mind. The intelligence of science finally uncovered the secret of our souls, and our society has changed drastically because of it. The problem is free will has been stripped from the equation. And if man is not judged by their choices, then how are we really deciding who is good and who is evil?
What on earth are you talking about?
I'm talking about seeing the naked splendor of people's souls. I want to see our precious lives played out on the stage of the world. But how can our souls be precious if they're not utilized? If we base our lives on Sybil's oracle and not our own free will, then can our souls have value?
These few lines pretty much encapsulates the entirety of Makishima's ideology. He genuinely believes that the Sybil system, the algorithm that I mentioned calculates your magic crime number, is reprehensible and holds humanity back. And to a degree, he isn't wrong for thinking that. One thing I haven't mentioned yet is that in the anime, the Sybil system is also responsible for things like giving you a job and determining what services you qualify for. Makishima believes that Sybil is a gilded cage that humanity lives in. People are safe and sound, sure, but their senses are soothed and sedated. How can we say a person truly lived when they've never experienced sensations like wanting something or desiring someone? Emotions that are integral to being human. But since no one wants to be tagged by the system as a potential criminal, everyone plays it safe. Makishima essentially poses the question, what is a person without the ability to choose? And this is the start of what makes this scene and character amazing, by the way. What happens next is what elevates this scene from amazing to god tier.
I'm warning you now, let her go! Or else!
Or else you'll kill me, get up off of the sidelines, and for once lay claim to your own soul. That would be a rather precious ending in its own ironic way. Feel it, the importance of life resting gingerly against your fingertip. As long as you're Sybil's puppet, you can never experience that. That's the weight of decision and free will. René Descartes, he said that those who can't make a decision can't do so either because their passions are too great or because they lack the sufficient intellect. Find your resolve. Unless you hold the gun firmly, the bullet will miss. Now, aim with the intent to kill. Not enough resolve, how very regrettable for you. Your failure has cost your friend's life.
No! Help me! Akane!
You've disappointed me, so I have to give you your punishment.
Don't! Please!
Regret helplessness, Akane, and feel true despair.
Crime coefficient at 0. No enforcement action required. Trigger will remain locked.
Yuki, no!
There's really nothing I can say to describe how awesome this scene is. I lied, there is a lot I can say to describe how awesome this scene is. The subtle voice crack of Akane's friend as she realizes that Akane couldn't bring herself to kill Makishima, thus abandoning her to die. Akane's stubborn idealism finally biting her in the ass, causing the death of one of her close friends. The absolute mad lad that is Gen I'ma kill everyone you love Urabuchi willing to kill a side character just to traumatize the protagonist. Which isn't the first time this has happened. And what tops it all off is the absolute mental domination from Makishima on Akane. In one scene alone, you don't just get to understand the ideology of Makishima, you also get to see why he does what he does and what he's willing to do to accomplish that. This scene is the reason why I genuinely do believe Makishima is one of the best villains in all of anime. People tend to forget that evil isn't pure sadism. It isn't just being evil for the sake of it. There are plenty of examples in our own world of horrific events happening because the people doing them convince themselves that what they do is righteous. And Makishima is no different. He's a flawed person trying to fight a system that is so obviously messed up. Is the idea of a Sybil system in our own world terrifying? Oh yeah, absolutely it is. But so is literal murder and acts of terrorism. Makishima wants freedom from Sybil, but he manipulates people to do what he wants. He believes in the potential of humanity, but is willing to kill anyone that gets in his way. He wants people to make their own choices, but firmly believes that only his methods are correct. This scene serves as a good warning that ideology can be the most dangerous thing sometimes. That people can trick themselves to think that they're right, even when they're spreading the most hateful of thoughts. In a day and age where you can easily find a content creator or even a community that aligns with your values, it's not that difficult to get swept under the us versus them mentality. That people are willing to ignore a person's flaws if they genuinely do believe what they have to say. After all, when it comes to who's actually right or wrong, it's always a matter of perspective.